It's Jacob with Jacob Comics. Got another review for you. This time we're reviewing X-Men Red, and the copy that I got this week has a really amazing Peach Momoko cover. If you saw my video earlier this week, I showed this off in my comic book day haul video. Super cool, and we're gonna get right on into the review. But first, I do want to promote my contest. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers, and when I do, we're going to give this book away. It's the Suicide Squad #1, which is the first team appearance of Deadshot, Deathstroke, Harley Quinn, Duella Dent, and the Black Manta. And all you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe on the video, and you're going to be entered to win. And when we hit 100 subscribers, we're going to give the book away. All right, let's get on into this review. Now, first off, like we always do here, I want to give a shout out to the creative team that's involved with the book. Okay, so we have Al Ewing We have Al Ewing is doing the writing duties. Stefano Caselli is the artist. Federico Blee is the color artist, and Ariana Maher is the letterer. All right, and so we do start off, and obviously I'm a really big X-Men fan, so we do start off, and I haven't actually like completely caught up. I kind of just got back into comics recently, and so I'm not quite sure who this other character is. Call her the Nameless, the Shapeshifter Queen. I haven't personally ever met her, but she seems to be fighting Storm in the beginning of the issue, and Storm basically like takes her seat on the council. Storm wins, and yeah, and so she takes her seat on the council. So she's now sitting on the council of the Great Ring of Araco, and she comes and she's talking to apologize here. Yeah, she's here and she's talking to the one of the new mutants from Araco that are living on Mars now. And there's this kind of synopsis that helps catch all of us up that don't know fully what's going on. And it says the mutants have successfully terraformed Mars, dubbing the planet anew as Araco, and populating it with a mix of mutants from Krakoa and Amenth. And Storm sits as the Regent of Sol on the Great Ring, the main governing body of Araco. But the new outpost has a long way to go before the two disparate mutant cultures can thrive as one. So that's how we start off, and then there's kind of like several stories going on at the same time. It's actually a really good job by Al Ewing, kind of doing a little mini movie version of three disparate stories that then converge at the end, and you'll see how. So we start off, and we've got Magneto, and he's obviously I didn't review that yet. I guess maybe I should have. I'm sorry, but Magneto's left the council now, the Quiet Council. So he shows up on Mars, and so I'm guessing he's probably going to be an X-Men Red now. It seems like he shows up on Mars, and he meets a guy that I guess calls himself the Fishmonger. He says, "I'm the Fishmonger," and he says he doesn't have any powers or anything, but he was with the Iraqi when they when they were in the prisons and the wars, and he helped them with all the wars. So he's Iraqi, but he doesn't have any powers. He says we don't know, but he basically befriends Magneto, and Magneto kind of talks about basically he doesn't really know what his place in the world is anymore, and he's struggling to find somewhere where he fits, where he feels like he can help mutant kind, which has always been his goal. And so he's struggling to find that, and so he meets this guy, and they kind of walk off, And as they're walking off, Magneto's kind of pulling all the metal from the surrounding ground and everything, and he builds this giant. And usually, like, I'll give you guys a couple of panels per book. I do want you to go out and buy the issue, but he builds this giant, really cool looking metal castle, kind of like a Disney castle in a way. So he builds himself a giant castle on Mars. So like he's definitely chilling out. And then we go to the second story, and that one follows one of my favorites, um, Sunspot. And so I believe Sunspot's going to be a part of this X-Men team as well. And so Sunspot here is talking to another one of the Iraqi mutants, who talks about how her husband died in the war and she was just really sad about it, and he laments his own grief about Juliana's death, and they kind of have a little bit of connection there. And before anything goes with that, um, in walks one of the Summers. It's Gabe Summers, yeah. In walks Gabe Summers. He's he's all kinds of angry, and he's like, "I'm not dead. I never died. And why did you give my all my people basically to Lalandra?" And he's super upset with this guy that happens to be in the bar, um, and it's Sunspot's bar. They kind of set that up, and it's this really cool looking like Star Wars bar kind of bar. Like, it's awesome. I love this sci-fi feel of this issue. It's really cool. I'll give you guys what my thoughts are at the end though. So then Sunspot comes in, and he's like, I don't like any roughhousing in my bar, right? And it, Gabe Summers is like, yeah, but my power is to sap any sort of sun energy around me. And so he basically like steals all of Sunspot's powers, and Sunspot's trying to fight him without powers. He's doing a lot of acrobatic moves, which is pretty amazing. Like, I didn't know he was that good a martial artist, but I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him. And his new friend that he made, the Iraqi mutant, she has powers, but she has like a code of honor, kind of like a Klingon warrior, and she doesn't want to embarrass him by stepping in and helping him. So, who walks in the door not a moment later, as Sunspot's starting to probably get beat up here, is Warpath, and or Thunderbird. I'm sorry, you can't blame me for getting those two. They're brothers. Okay, so in walks Thunderbird, who's just back recently too, and is gonna have his own like, I don't think it's gonna be an ongoing, but I think he's gonna have like a one shot or something. Um, so Thunderbird comes in and just decks Gabe Summers in the face, Vulcan, and he takes him out, right? And I want to show it to you. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to show too much from these, but yeah, you can see if you want to pause the video there. He does. It's he punches him up, and then he hits him over the head with a table. He he destroys Gabe Summers, and as Gabe is just kind of lying on the ground, like unconscious and probably bleeding, uh, in in walks Cable, and Cable tells Thunderbird, you've made your point, and Abigail Brand walks in too, and she's like, because this is happening on my planet, this is my business, and da da da. And Thunderbird's like, then I guess I took care of your business, right? And they're actually kind of not too happy about that. So they end up they end up kind of taking Gabe in. I don't want to say into custody, but I guess they're gonna take Gabe with them and try to see if they can help to rehabilitate him to make him a better human being, because obviously Cable's a Summers as well, and he wants to help his older uncle out, even though Cable looks older than Vulcan. It's his old whatever. X-Men continuity, right? All right. At least I know that. I just I miss some of the stuff with the Iraqi mutants and exactly who that council is on Mars. Um, so so then um, he's kind of laying unconscious there, right? And they say like, well, we want to take him with us to Sword, and he might be useful. And Thunderbird's like, not he's not exactly thrilled about that. He's like, what do you mean you guys want to take this creep with you? Even though, like I just said, obviously it's Cable's uncle, and it's kind of like the Luke Skywalker Darth Vader thing. He wants to save him, regardless of how irredeemable he is. He still thinks there's something that can be saved in him, right? But Thunderbird doesn't think so, and Thunderbird actually takes offense to the fact that Cable kind of tells him that he needs to start watching his temper. So he gets a little hot, like, and then Cable's like, "Hey man, you need to watch your temper," and that just sets Thunderbird off. And Thunderbird's like, "Oh hell no!" And he basically they go on. He cusses at him. It's obviously cut scribbled out, but they're setting up some tension there between Thunderbird and Cable. Those two did not get along at all, at all, at all. And then we move along to and at the end of it is they didn't get along so much so, and they didn't really like how Thunderbird handled the situation and kind of beat Gabe into a pulp. Um, the Abigail Brand basically says, that's it. Your mutant card for being on Mars is revoked. You got to go back to Earth. Get out of here, Thunderbird. Like she kicks him off Mars, like the police. I don't know, but she kicks him off. She's like, you got to go. That's her job. She's like the sword, yeah, police. So she kicks him off. He's not happy about that. And as he leaves, Thunderbird kind of comments to Sunspot like, "Hey man, if you're sticking around, watch your back, kid, cause like, dude." And he's like this place seems like it's rotting from the head down, and it's not good. And Sunspot basically agrees with him. And then the council on Mars, they have a vote. The Iraqi Council, I believe it's called. They have a vote between whether or not they stay on Mars and try to build a new society, or they go back and try to annihilate the people that had held them captive that they were running from originally. That now that maybe they're all healed up and back in, resurrected a bunch of their friends, that maybe they can go back and go to war or whatever. And the vote ends up tied, but because Aurora Storm is sitting on the council now, I don't exactly know how this works, but she somehow holds a tiebreaker, like she's the queen or something. I'm not quite sure. She has a queen seat, as we'll see a little bit coming up here. So we go into she's talking again with trying to see if they say her name, but they're talking about Red Root. So there's still like some teasers of maybe possibly we're gonna go looking for Red Root and save her, which still hasn't happened, and they've been teasing that for a while. Um, and then there's as she's walking and talking with one of the people, there's also some sort of insight into Storm's inner workings and her mind and her thoughts right now. And she's sort of upset about this whole situation. She doesn't really feel like um, Yeah, so it says like right here, um, and what kind of sets it off is Abigail Brand comes in and starts kind of talking to her about stuff, and she ends up saying is she says that's what a queen does, Storm. That's what a queen is. That's what you are, Your Majesty, and that kind of like sets Storm off finally. Like she's already been getting fed up with this for a bit. It seems. And she goes, "Is that what you see? A throne, a crown? Is that all that's left? Was I this in the crowds of Cairo, on the rooftops of Tokyo, when I laughed in the skies and gave rain to the soil? Did it only lead to here, to this piece of gold, seduced by power, by crowns and thorns?" And as you can see, I mean, you gotta love Al Ewing's writing, right? Um, so she's kind of like had it up to here, and she uses her storm powers and lightnings the throne that they gave her into nothingness. And I love this. I'm going to show you guys another panel. It's just a really good book. I'm sorry, the art is amazing, but I want to kind of get a close up there. And so she's got that look right there, the long hair. It's looking really good. She's pretty upset about what's going on, and she's broken the thorn, or she's broken her crown. She's taken her crown off. She's broken the throne, and so then we go to the back to the third story, or the first story, with Magneto and Fisherman, and Fisher King, I guess he calls himself. And they're kind of talking, and they're inside of the giant metal Walt Disney um, palace that he built for himself, and they're kind of hanging out. They're talking about the same kind of stuff. Where Magneto's like, I don't really know what my place in this world is anymore, and I feel like I'm a good guy and I'm a good person, but I always make mistakes and do the wrong thing. Um, and I would like to do the right thing, basically. And so at that kind of moment, in walks Sunspot. So the second story is now converged with the first story, right? And in walks Sunspot, and he's like, he makes a little joke about scattering some couch cushions, and he goes, "Sunspot, how'd you even know I was out here?" And he goes, "Ways and means, Eric. Eyes and ears on the comings and goings." And so they talk, the three of them, Fisher King, and I do believe this is the first appearance of Fisher King as well. So they talk, Magneto, Fisher King, and Sunspot, and Sunspot's actually like kind of saying like, we Mars needs an X-Men team. Like bad things are going on, things are not under control, and Mars needs an X-Men team, right? And Magneto's like, then what is the balance? Who defends the broken land? And this is, I knew when I as soon as I opened it, I was like, I am definitely showing this. So I already had planned on it, but so then we get a last page here, and Storm comes in and she says the Brotherhood does. And so it's kind of like a branding thing. They were talking about it earlier in the issue, and I'm holding this up so you can check it out for a minute too. It's Storm with her old school haircut, guys. She's gone back to the mohawk. Check it out. So yeah, or it's pulled up in a mohawk. I guess it's not shaved on the sides, but she's got that new outfit on, and yeah, I guess so. I guess they're gonna brand themselves as the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. It doesn't say; it just says the Brotherhood, or the Brotherhood of Mutants. So yeah, I really enjoyed this issue. Al Ewing's always such a pleasure to read, and the art there is his killer. Shout out to give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. I don't have the greatest of memory on all of them. Shout out to Stefano Caselli, uh, on the art, on the pencils there. Um, Frederico Blee on the color, and Ariana Maher on the lettering. Because yeah, the issue was a pleasure to read. I really did enjoy the reading it. I definitely recommend it. It gets a thumbs up from me. All right, guys. Remember, like, comment, subscribe for your chance to win the Suicide Squad #1. And if you guys are looking for any comics, check out my eBay link below. Buy some comics off me. Help somebody out. I'll see you guys in the next video, and have a great night.